The clock is ticking in Washington. With the government days from a shutdown, tension fills the air. It's September 19th, 2025. Congress has until September 30th to pass a funding bill, or the government grinds to a halt. Today, the Republican-led House narrowly passed a short-term funding bill, but the Senate, controlled by Democrats, immediately blocked it. The two sides are at an impasse, and the nation faces profound uncertainty. This isn't just political theater, it's a full-blown partisan war. Republicans, led by Speaker Mike Johnson, claim they've done their part, blaming Democrats for stalling. Democrats, led by Chuck Schumer, argue the Republican bill ignores critical healthcare subsidies, accusing the GOP of holding the government hostage. The blame game is in full swing, with both sides digging in. Former President Trump has weighed in, blaming Democrats for reckless spending. The core functions of the world's largest economy now hang in the balance as Congress seems more focused on scoring points than governing. The countdown continues and the stakes could not be higher. Will Washington find a way out, or will the nation pay the price for political gridlock? What is a government shutdown? It's when Congress fails to approve a budget and federal agencies lose their authority to spend money. Non-essential operations cease, and hundreds of thousands of federal employees are furloughed. No work, no pay. While Congress often approves back pay, it's never guaranteed, leaving families in limbo. Essential services, military, air traffic control, border patrol, keep running, but those workers don't get paid until the shutdown ends. Imagine being a soldier or FBI agent, working without knowing when your next paycheck will come. National parks and museums close, disappointing tourists and hurting local economies. Passport applications and small business loans are delayed or suspended. The shutdown ripples through daily life, disrupting services Americans rely on. It's not just a bureaucratic hiccup, it's a widespread halt that touches millions. The government's reach is everywhere, and when it stops, so does much of the country. The impact is immediate, far-reaching, and deeply personal for many. The shutdown is a stark reminder of how interconnected government is with American society. Every day it drags on, the consequences grow. For many, it's a sudden financial shock with no clear end in sight. The shutdown is more than politics. It's a disruption of daily American life. When government halts, ordinary Americans feel it first, not politicians. Over 2 million federal employees face furloughs, their work and pay frozen. Families relying on programs like WIC or food stamps risk losing vital support if the shutdown drags on. Veterans see delays in new benefits and reduced support services. Students face uncertainty with delayed federal aid, and small business owners can't access critical loans. These aren't just numbers, they're neighbors, friends, and families suddenly struggling. The human cost is immense, paid by those least able to bear it. Political gridlock in Washington means real hardship across the country. The shutdown is rooted in deep political divisions. Republicans, controlling the House, demand spending cuts and fiscal discipline, insisting on a clean funding bill. They accuse Democrats of blocking progress to protect healthcare programs. Democrats holding the Senate and White House argue the GOP bill is a Trojan horse, threatening healthcare subsidies and Medicaid. Both sides blame each other for the crisis, each claiming to defend American interests. The deadlock is about more than numbers, it's a clash of ideologies. With neither side budging, the government remains at a standstill. At the heart of the standoff is healthcare. Democrats demand an extension of Affordable Care Act subsidies and reversal of recent Medicaid cuts, calling them essential for millions. They refuse to fund the government without these protections. Republicans argue these issues should be debated separately, not tied to a must-pass funding bill. They see ACA subsidies as unsustainable spending and resist Democratic ultimatums. Both sides are using the shutdown deadline as leverage for their agendas. The result? A dangerous stalemate with health care for millions hanging in the balance. The routine funding process has become an ideological war. Neither side is backing down, and Americans are caught in the crossfire. A shutdown isn't just political drama, it hits the economy hard. The last major shutdown cost the U.S. at least $11 billion in lost productivity and delayed contracts. This time, with global instability and inflation, the risks are even higher. Investor confidence drops, the stock market wobbles, and America's credit rating can suffer. Local economies, especially those near national parks or reliant on federal contracts, feel the pain first. Small businesses lose customers, workers are laid off and projects stall. Consumer confidence erodes as people see chaos in Washington and worry about their own finances. People delay big purchases, cut spending, and the economy slows. A shutdown is a self-inflicted wound, spreading hardship far beyond Capitol Hill. Political dysfunction in Washington means real economic pain for families and businesses nationwide. Across America, frustration and anxiety are rising. Social media is filled with stories of furloughed workers, closed parks, and delayed services. The blame game is everywhere, but most people are simply exhausted by the constant brinkmanship. For many, this isn't politics. It's about paying bills, running businesses, and planning family trips. Local news amplifies the human cost, putting pressure on lawmakers to act. The disconnect between Washington and the public is growing. Americans want a government that works, not endless crisis. With the deadline looming, Congress is running out of time and options. Both the House and Senate have rejected each other's funding bills, leaving no clear path forward. A shutdown on October 1st looks likely unless a breakthrough happens fast. Negotiations are intense, but the legislative calendar and party divisions make compromise difficult. The duration of the shutdown will depend on which side feels the most pressure from public opinion. A short shutdown is possible, but a prolonged standoff is just as likely. Behind the scenes, staffers scramble for a deal, perhaps a temporary funding extension with concessions from both sides. Key swing votes and bipartisan groups could tip the balance, but unity is cracking. The solution will be messy, with political careers and the nation's well-being at stake. The path forward is uncertain, demanding courage and compromise. The country waits as leaders face a critical test. Will they put the nation first or let division prevail? This shutdown isn't a natural disaster, it's a crisis of leadership. Millions of Americans' livelihoods, essential services, and the economy are at risk. The fight is over more than a budget. It's a test of whether our leaders can govern. Constant brinkmanship has eroded public trust and damaged America's reputation. The core dispute, healthcare, shows just how deep the divide runs. Is it responsible to use a shutdown as leverage, inflicting hardship on the nation? The choices made now will shape the country's future and test the courage of its leaders. The stakes are immense, and all of America is watching.